As Black Americans, honey, I'm so tired of the Asian Americans keep on talking about they're tired of the Black Americans not doing anything. Look, we done enough. We made y'all rich in our own neighborhood and we ain't complained. We allowed y'all to harass us in these beauty supply stores and all that, and we still bought for y'all. Okay, and you have the audacity to come out here and speak out now. Honey, let me tell you, they are saying the Asians are furious, that black wealth is shifting. Why are you furious? If you furious, if you mad, go to the store, wrap a cape around your neck and get super mad. I don't care how furious they get because we're climbing up the ladder. You know, blacks have it hard enough as it is, been having hard enough. You should look at Black America and be like, whoa, they went through so much in America, you know. But clearly the white people done told y'all so much horrible stuff about black Americans. You think everything is our fault. So I want you guys to watch this video because these people are crazy. All right? They mad because black wealth is going higher and higher and it ain't no stopping them. And people are still boycotting. Check
for us.
The black boycott of Asian businesses, I agree. And guess what? It's not a boycott. Y'all Asians, get over yourselves. This is not a boycott. We just gonna support black-owned businesses. That's all we're gonna do.
Y'all just gonna get less business.
Yeah, I mean, open up your Chinese restaurants in your own neighborhood. Yeah, open your nail salons, move the nail salons from our neighborhoods to your neighborhood. And you know what's so funny about Asian neighborhoods? Outside of the big cities with the Chinatowns and all this kind of shit like that, like in San Antonio, Asians are here. They own all the salons and, you know, all the nail tech salons and all that type of shit like that. But where the fuck y'all live at? I don't know what the Asian neighborhood is because we ain't got no Chinatown.
I ain't never seen the
Antonio.
Asian neighborhood.
Where y'all hood at?
Yo, this boycott might be the wake-up call that Asian people really needed. Hear me out. Everybody worried about how this boycott is going to hurt Asian businesses, but I'm more interested in what this boycott is going to make us become. Let's be real. Most of us are operating on formulas that were built 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago by our parents and grandparents. Shit not the same no more. The world changed since then. Technology changed. Communication changed. Man, everything changed. The only thing that ain't really changed is our systems. And here's another thing. Most other people look at Asians like we all the same, but that could be farthest from the truth. Because Asians as a whole is actually divided as fuck. Chinese, Vietnamese, Korean, Japanese, Cambodian, Thai, Filipino, those are all people from different countries. We completely different people. But in America, everybody looks at us like we're the same. So this boycott ain't just gonna affect one group of Asians, it's gonna affect Asians collectively in America. And history has shown, when pressure is applied to different groups of people at the same time, it has a way of making us realize that we got more in common than we actually thought. So could this boycott hurt many Asian businesses? You damn right. But could it also wake the Asian people up in a way that we never saw before? Abso-fucking-lutely. It could make us rethink how we operate and come up with new formulas instead of relying on old ones. It could make younger Asians start stepping up in the way that Asians ain't never stepped up before. Because one thing we Asians have always been good at is adapting. When times get hard, we adjust. When old opportunities disappear, we make new ones. When doors close, we build our own. So the question shouldn't be, what if the boycott hurts Asians? The question should be, what if this boycott wakes us the fuck up?
To preface, I have no problem with black people boycotting Asian businesses in their communities and putting their black dollar into their own communities. I support that. I want to address a lot of the upper, middle, Ivy League educated East Asians that are getting on this app and proving once again that you are centering your own experience when you are addressing the situation, because ultimately anyone who has ever grown up as an Asian person in predominantly poor, black or white community, you know there's a bit of nuance to the situation. And what I'm seeing is, I'm seeing a lot of Asians from Cupertino, the Bay Area, Bellevue, Orange County, get on this app and recycle the same 3 talking points about addressing anti-blackness in the Asian community. We need to progress that conversation. And ultimately, I just think that the reason why it's not progressing is because it's not reaching the actual people that you're intending to reach. When you say that you want to help the black community, or you want to address anti-blackness, or you want to speak to your own community, I'm assuming you're trying to speak to the people who own these stores. The parents, the kids, the family members. I'm assuming that you want to reach them. But when you make your think piece on TikTok to explain redlining because you read it from a book, that's your privilege. You get to read from a book. And some of us actually grew up in those poor black and white communities and understand the situation better, but you recycle those think pieces and ultimately you're not going to reach the demographic that you claim you want to reach. Now, don't get me wrong. I think there's value to that. I think there's value to educate people on that. But I also think that you need to understand that when you're talking about this type of lived experience of people who are complex human beings, the easy way out is to say, oh yeah, all Asian people are anti-black. They're all racist. They want to exploit black dollars so that they can position themselves to be white and escape poverty. And it's very easy to make statements saying, well, it didn't matter that Cyrus had a gun. It's also very easy to say, oh, well, Cyrus shouldn't have had a gun. That's his fault. He brought this upon himself. I don't support any of those claims. Poor communities are ridden with crime and fear. If you ever grew up in a poor community, you know those are the two ingredients that cause a lot of the problems that we have in our communities. There's a lot of fear and there's a lot of crime. And it's, for the most part, it's indiscriminate crime. You know, the older ladies, they used to come into my mom's nail salon. They'd be like, I'm going to give my mom a fake name. They'd be like, Deborah, they got me. They stole my car. They robbed me on my way to work. They took my money. They broke into my home. They would talk about these things, and my mom would be like, hey, let me give you a discount on the nails. Let me give you a free nail, whatever. And the reverse would happen. A lot of you have never been held by gunpoint. A lot of you have never seen a kid hold a knife at your mom and say, I'm going to slice your mom open unless you give me $100. It's very easy for you to make your think pieces to blame an entire race of people and say, yeah, we're all anti-black, we're all racist. I see these creators over and over, they're fighting with other Asian people. They're saying, I don't care about your experience. I don't care if you were living in this community. I don't care about you. Because ultimately, whatever think piece they put out, it doesn't affect them. They live in Bellevue. They live in Cupertino. They got a white husband or a white boyfriend that drive a Tesla. It doesn't matter what they say online because that doesn't affect them. I'm heartbroken that we live in a society where there's parts of the country where a teenager thinks that they need a gun. But I don't need to ask the question, why does he have a gun? Because I know. I grew up with those kids who thought they needed street creds, thought they needed actual protection from other teenagers, thought that they had no other options in life. When you're poor, your options are bleak. People will say, oh, I blame the parents. I used to work with group homes and at-risk teens in San Jose. I used to have that mindset too. I would blame the parents. I'd be like, did you not raise your kid better? This mom pulls me aside and she says, Paul, do you know why my son is in a group home? And I said, no, I never asked. She said, I got 2 other kids at home and he would not stop bringing guns into the house. He joined a gang. He went down the wrong path, even though we didn't do that. And so I thought to myself, wow, I'm hearing this mom explain to me, I had to make a decision to protect my other kids. It's not so easy when you break down all these different variables that influence people to commit crime. A babysitter. She wasn't really a babysitter. She was an older black lady. And she saw my parents struggling. She's like, oh, it's just you two. It's just you two raising your kids. Let me help you out. She would raise us sometimes. She would take us out and watch us. But she had so many rules. She said, don't pick up a gun. Don't do drugs. Don't watch The Simpsons because it shows bad behaviors. Don't do all this shit. And you know, she would always be like over and over. And she said, you know why I'm telling you this? Because I wish my grandkids had listened to me. I want you guys to focus on your education. I want you to get the fuck out of this city. This is not a defense of Rick Chow. I'm looking at the violent history and I asked myself, you know, I had the same conversation with my parents. After the 9th, 10th time of them being robbed, I said, Mom, is it worth it? Kids are pointing guns at you. They're pointing knives at you. They're throwing rocks at your window. They're spray painting chink on the sidewalk. Is it worth it? Why don't we just leave? She said, this is my community. I have friends here. These are the people I've grown to be in community with. What ended up happening was that she just said, don't come to the nail salon anymore. We wouldn't go anymore. You know, as kids, we used to. But after people started bringing weapons inside the nail salon, she said, no, I don't want to risk my kids' lives for my business. And that's what happened. But I had those same conversations, and those conversations that Rick Chow and her family should have had. Is it really worth it? Why are you killing people over water bottles? That's terrible. You strip a kid of their life, of their chance to change, of their chance to do better. I don't know much about the lawsuit. I don't know if he pointed a gun at him. I know they had found a gun, but that's really not the important part for me. These are the important conversations that you need to have with your parents, but also have with your kids. But I also have empathy. I understand them both. I understand it is difficult. But at the end of the day, Asian people with their businesses, we have a lot of power. Because over the years, as money, the black dollar is being put into our businesses, we get to leave. When my brother and I got accepted into Stanford on a full ride because my parents didn't have money, we did the college application. My parents were making $30K for the two of them. But they told the community, and the community was so happy. And, Big Mama came in, she said, I'm proud of you. Leave. Don't come back. Get a good job. Don't grow up here. It's very easy to make your think pieces. It's very easy to condemn an entire race. It's very easy to blame the parents. Growing up poor is a very complicated experience. And ultimately, when we say the system has failed us, I feel that. Because I think that there were so many kids who could have had the same opportunities, could have had such a good life if the government had actually gave a damn. 3 years ago, when we were posting videos about Cyrus, people asked the same questions. How do we get more black-owned businesses in these communities and start building wealth? That was the question people asked 3 years ago, and that's the question people are still asking again this time. Because it's complicated. If you're in those communities, you know how they gatekeep the supply chain. A lot of Asians work with other Asians for the beauty supply stores, the nail salons. I don't know anything about the liquor stores, but it's a complicated thing. It's not just so easy to be like, oh yeah, open a business. It doesn't work like that. There's a history to it, like getting a loan is very difficult. It's difficult to raise that much money. It's difficult to offer the same competitive pricing that a lot of Asian businesses do offer. There's a lot of people who get online saying, I'm not boycotting anything because these are my resources. When you live in a poor community, you don't have that many resources. And so when an Asian person is able to offer you a $5 meal, you take that. It's difficult. It's not the same as your lived experience. And I know a lot of these Asian creators, they don't mean any harm. I know that you guys don't mean any harm when you say these think pieces, but I just think that you don't understand how much more complex it is to be poor. All the money that I made from the videos on Cyrus and this one,
we're boycotting because we recognize that we can have solidarity for everybody else, but nobody can have solidarity when it comes to us in our community.
So as someone who came from a family business that has actually operated my own family business with my husband, okay, I honestly think that it's okay if the black community wants to boycott Asian businesses. I mean, I stopped going to nail salons because I didn't like the way that they were talking shit and making me feel uncomfortable, and I felt like I was being discriminated on because I wasn't Vietnamese. I stopped going like at least 5-6 years ago. That's why I started doing my own nails. Now, the black community has every right to be able to apply their money to wherever it is that they are accepted to, whether it's to their own community or someone else that they personally know. I actually find it very offensive that, one, people think they can tell black people what they can and cannot do with their money, right? And two, that you guys would even challenge their discernment as to why they choose not to go to any other establishments anymore for the safety of their own people and their family and their kids. That's actually insane. Like, this child, Cyrus, is a child that got murdered, but this isn't the first time that this has happened to their people. And the crazy part is that this is their country. Everybody who's an immigrant here, every person of color, came to their country because America is white Americans and black Americans. Now, do I think boycotting is going to work? I think that it could work because obviously words are not enough at this point, right, to make any type of changes. But at the same time, I do believe that there is just problems in the system. There needs to be some type of heavy regulation that needs to change within the systems of giving out businesses or allowing people to open establishments in anywhere. And just fully giving it to anybody else besides black Americans, because it's very difficult for someone in the black community to really just go and get a business back then. Now it might be a little bit easier, but there are still some discrimination against it, right? They're going to make it very difficult and everybody's going to try to shut them down. Like, you guys don't be asking the right questions. Like, do you guys ever wondered, or have you guys ever studied about Black Wall Street? Those are the types of questions that you need to find out. You over here asking me, do you own your own family businesses? Look, I would never want to spend my money on anybody who's going to be racist towards me, killing my people, targeting my family, my kids. I would never want that. So if boycotting works because words are not enough, because they've been saying it for so long, they've been trying to reach out and try to communicate with every community of color at this point, and then there are people actually giving them backlash and being disrespectful, talking about we got our own Chinatown, we're gonna stop having Chinese foods. That's some weird shit. And for the people who are saying like, oh, not everybody's like that though, like not everybody deserves that, like you don't think that the people of the Black community already knows that? Like, why are you guys being so rude? They don't have to be told that. They don't have to be persuaded that. That's insane. It's disrespectful. Asian Americans, I just really want you to understand this. When you guys say stuff like that, you make it seem like as if the Black community is incapable of making their own decisions. Like you guys are telling them what they should do, how to think, what they should do and spend their money on. It's insane. If you guys really want to bring solidarity and bring unity to our communities, the Asian American community and the Black community, what we can do in this type of conversation is that Asian people just need to sit down and listen. Because some conversations just require you to listen.
Black people, Asian people, understand this. No, it is not all Asian-owned businesses, and you're not going to boycott all Asian-owned products because Asian-owned products are everywhere. But the second you feel microaggressions in an Asian-owned business or in any business at all, walk out. Where I live, I'm known for doing that shit. Like the second, I'm like, excuse me, I'll walk out. I will walk out in a heartbeat. But punishing random Asian businesses is wrong, unequivocally. Just know this, supporting Black-owned businesses will always get you farther than supporting other minority businesses. It'll support your community, it'll support everything about you. So support Black-owned businesses, that's all. But also you can't blame Asian people for an action of one person. While it is big in their culture, anti-Blackness, I'm friends with a lot of Asians and a lot of older Asians because I'm a quarter Korean. Asian people are human too. That's all.
Oh, I love when the Black community says, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout, the dry cleaners, the laundromats. Let's get rid of the liquor stores as well. Get rid of the Jordan.
Naming a bunch of things that if we remove them will make the community better is not a flex. Target felt the exact same way and look how they turned out. But you know what is even more wild to me? Asian Americans have what they have, a large portion of it, because of Black Americans. The Civil Rights Act was spearheaded and largely lifted up because of Black Americans. Ferociously fought for, and Black Americans lost their lives because of it. This opened up doors for Asian Americans to be able to come here to America and receive grants and loans. Now, the government wanted the Asian Americans to be in a better position than the Black Americans, obviously. So they were able to get grants and loans, but they were not able to get grants and loans in white neighborhoods because white people did not want them in their neighborhoods. So they was able to get grants and loans, and they put those Asian Americans in Black neighborhoods. And when white people were being racist to them and white people did not want to support them, Black Americans gave them community like we always do with everybody else. And we uplifted these Asian American businesses. We uplifted these stores and these food places and these laundromats and all these things. Because Black people understand what it feels like to be at the bottom, and we don't want other people to feel the same way. But you see how when people move up, they all of a sudden they get amnesia to how they got where they got to. And people feel like since they have everything now, they cannot lose much more. Pulling our Black dollar is not hatred towards you, but prioritization for.
This is why it's very important to do group economics, keep that $1.9 to $2.6 trillion in our communities. We got people that's living in the Bronx, New York on Thor's Neck, right under the bridge, that have literal castles. They have little castles, gold in the front, gold gates, beautiful houses and buildings, and right over we got the hood, right? And they're profiting off of our $1.9 to $2.6 trillion. It's time to start straightening up. It's time to tighten up. It's time to do group economics and stop playing, because
I don't know about y'all, but I'm serious about this shit. I'm not spending another damn dime.
When they killed George Floyd, did you stop going to white businesses? Did you stop shopping at IKEA?
This is one of the most careless takes that I have seen on the Cyrus situation. And this man didn't even make a video prior to this woman making a video about the Cyrus situation, and it really does show that he just doesn't care. He genuinely forgot that a 14-year-old was shot in the back and the murderer was set free. And the only reason he cares now is because they do not want to go to Asian businesses, which they have the right to. And it's not even that it's racist, it's more so that they're trying to make a point, they're trying to make a stance that what happened isn't okay, that that man wasn't supposed to be let free. And the thing is that you didn't even acknowledge the pain they're going through. You don't acknowledge the fact that this is something that has been happening for centuries. And instead of holding your community accountable for their anti-Blackness, you bring up things like, what about George Floyd? But the thing is, did you forget that they were protesting for days? Did you forget that they were protesting until that man set foot in jail? Or do you not care? Not only that, but then you're washing your hands by saying that he's not a representation of your entire community. And I agree, he's not a representation of your entire community, but at some point you do need to hold your community accountable for their anti-blackness. Because when you don't, that is the reason why men like him get away with murder, get away with hate crimes, because it is so normalized to be anti-black in the community. Okay, so next time when you want to make a video, first acknowledge the pain that this community is going through, because it is not just another day. It is a day in which another black child was targeted due to racism, due to hate. So if you cannot acknowledge that, then don't make a video at all.
I don't understand how the most educated group of people, Asians, can't figure out why Black Americans are trying to boycott their businesses. It's so crazy to me that Asians think Black Americans are doing this to get back at us, or that this is a generalization of all Asians, that we are all racist like Rick Chow. The boycott is pent-up frustration from years of Black Americans dealing with Asian-owned businesses and constantly getting racially profiled, followed, and the overall lack of respect that they have to deal with, even though they are these businesses' said main customers. Mind you, Asians that own said businesses in predominantly Black neighborhoods extract that money and go take it back to their own communities. So Black Americans are collectively trying to say, if you're going to come in here and take our money and leave, the very least you can do is treat us like a normal human being and not assume that every Black person that walks in the door in a Black neighborhood is a criminal. Seems pretty reasonable to me.
Asian man that came on TikTok talking about how Black people can go ahead and boycott their businesses, whether it's beauty supply stores and nail salons, and how they can just go over to the white neighborhoods and get money from them. Okay, then go do that. Because if it was so easy for you to be in those neighborhoods, then why weren't you over there to begin with? It's strategically placed for beauty supply stores, nail salons, and liquor stores to be placed in the Black community because you know that's where all the money's going to come from. The Asian man that came on TikTok and said what he said is a prime example of why Black people are boycotting to begin with. They're just exposing what we've always known, this secret weird hatred, this secret weird animosity towards us when we've done nothing to you. I saw another young lady on TikTok talking about how there was xenophobia that was being pushed towards Asian community when Donald Trump had first got elected and Asians were getting beat up in broad daylight. And she was talking about how when Asians were talking about POC solidarity and Black people came to their aid, but now it's shoes on the other foot, they're nowhere to be found, it's our problem and it's our fault. Which is exactly why Black people...
$213 million in 2024 only.
In 2024 only?
Only, yes. Over in all the store.
They telling the street to our face and they bragging about it.
See, he just proved my point. You see how he talking? He talking. You see what I'm saying? This is why I'm saying, y'all, you have to control the product because they're laughing in our faces like, yo, you can boycott the local stores. That's small money. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Because that's small money to them because all they're going to do is divert their sales to other businesses where we still buy. They're going to divert it to the African Americans businesses that they sell to, the Latin business. You have to cut them off at the head, the manufacturer. They know that. That's why they laughing at us right now. Look, it's right here in your face, yo. Laughing at us. Man.
I keep seeing videos of Asian men and women talking about they don't care if Black people stop supporting their businesses. Well, pump your brakes because I want to explain something to you. Your businesses are in our neighborhoods, right? Y'all liquor stores, y'all hair salon product stores are in our neighborhoods. I have never seen a Black business in fucking Chinatown or Koreatown or Cambodia town. Shout out to the Cambodians because I like y'all. I fuck with y'all. But I'm just saying, okay? I'm making a point. Okay? When you go to the fucking hair spot, it ain't Asians running through that motherfucker. It's Black and Hispanics, more or less. Okay? So no, matter of fact, we don't fucking need your business. Okay? We don't. We don't need to eat your fried chicken. We don't need to eat your Chinese food. Keyword need. We don't need that shit. Y'all need us to buy it. Right? So pump your brakes. Pump your brakes, all right? Like, for real. We don't fucking need no Asian businesses, bruh. Keyword need. All right? Trust me, we can go somewhere else. All right? I can go to the soul food spot to get some fucking fried chicken, but you're right here, bruh. So I'm gonna just get it from you. Pump your brakes, I'm telling y'all. We don't need y'all, right? With all due respect. With all due respect, we don't need y'all. I'm just saying.
I'm not going to take my foot off the gas about this Black Asian boycott, businesses boycott thing. Y'all don't forget. Do not be shopping with these folk. Spend your money with black people, okay? This is not anti-Asian. This is pro-black. Find a black nail salon in your area. Find a black beauty supply store in your area. Make your own Chinese food at home. Because guess what? You don't see them eating at black soul food restaurants, so you shouldn't be eating at they shit either. And you know black folk know how to make Chinese food better than Chinese food any damn way. And you know it's true.
$213 million in 2024 only.
In 2024 only?
Only, yes. Over in all the store.
They telling the street to our face and they bragging about it. Watch this. That's cool, man. So you saying they started in the Bronx or in the cities and then they branch out and have 240. 240 is a lot.
Yes, 284.
284.
Yeah, they have right now.
Wow.
In Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Boston, Maryland. Yeah. Like they're one of the biggest franchise. If I see like the biggest franchisee, you know, they start from New York City.
Yeah.
Believe me or not, their main things maybe in Brooklyn, Manhattan, maybe in Jacksonville, maybe in Bronx, any of this place.
They started in Brooklyn. And they made how much? 200-something million?
$213 million.
Just
overall, like.
So they started in Brooklyn in the inner cities, and then accumulated that money.
Yep.
And then from accumulating that money, they started now spreading out their wealth from accumulating from the inner cities.
They opened their first store in Brooklyn.
Okay.
In 2013.
Yeah.
Right now, 2025. And
so they started in 2013 opening these stores in the inner cities in the Brooklyn.
Yes.
With one store. And they made so much money they was able to accumulate.
So now they invest to 187.
Wow.
So
and now they had 230. You said $84 million.
$213 million in 2024 only.
In 2024 only.
Only, yes. Over in all the store. Mm-hmm. So his main energy came from New York City. So like big franchise, you know, maybe they're franchise owner for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Believe me or not, very rare people say, oh, I'm from Harrisburg.
Yeah.
Oh, I started my business from Maryland.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, like not like everybody, oh, I'm from New York City, but money fly in that city.
You said money flies in New York City.
Money fly in New York City. You have to just catch it. Make like example without any promotion.
Yeah.
Any legwork. 40,000. I have to burn my ass.
Yeah.
I have to burn my ass.
Yeah.
Right. Same outlet, same everything. That's the location you're gonna cross, right? Right. If I go here, this is my Brooklyn, New York. This is my Bronx store.
Okay.
Right? I don't have to do anything. Like, and you know what he said, boss? Just don't worry about it.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
In New York City, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Jacksonville, Bronx, Stamford, Connecticut, like this kind of target city, don't even think about it.
So you're saying outside the city, you got to work extremely hard to make money. When you go in the city, the money is flying in your pockets.
Like this, you know, I have been from 8 o'clock, 8 a.m., you know, but we used to start like 10:30.
Yeah.
Right? From 8 a.m. to from 11 a.m., right? We make like around 5 grand.
Just from 8 to 11, 5 grand.
5 grand.
Sheesh.
Like most
and that's one location.
From one
day.
Location, yeah. It's in the morning time. Right? You know, my busiest time is Monday to Friday.
Okay.
In the weekend, I don't make that much money from that location.
Yeah.
And the peak time, like 2 to 4, I make another like 3 grand. Only delivery.
Yeah.
Only online.
Wow.
After 7 o'clock, my sales is done.
Yeah.